Have you ever hit that point in your life where you realize what worked before just doesn't work anymore, right? That was me earlier in this year, when I lost my federal contractor job in April, right? And it wasn't so much that I lost my job, it was the fact that I couldn't find another one, right? Something that has always been so easy for me, seamlessly for me, right? It was just so, in the cards before, where if I lost this job, I'll be able to find another job, but not so much this time, right? I applied for I don't know how many jobs, jobs in my industry, jobs in HR. I updated my resume because that's something that I know to do, update that resume, and I changed it to kind of meet the demand of what's currently out here. And guess what? Nothing. Can I say it again? Nothing open. And I had never had so many closed doors in my entire working history. So when I had to go on unemployment, I did it, I made it work, but then it ran out because you only get 6 months. And I had to sit with the question, we all might dread, what now? What am I going to do? You know, I that question I pondered in my head every single day. But here's the thing. This isn't my first time having to navigate this kind of transition. I've been here before. I knew how to kind of work it a little bit, because working as an HR federal contractor for many years, I've seen contracts end even abruptly, even sometimes on a Friday. Now, why can't they give you advance notice? Why can't you tell me on Monday, and then pay me for the entire week? No, they want to let you go on Friday, you know. And I've been released simply because the work just stopped. It wasn't there anymore. I mean, that's the nature of the beast with contract work. But each time, you know what I had to do? I had to readjust to find new options, right? I had to readjust to find new avenues and new ways to use my skills. And this season is no different for me. I'm having to still do the same thing, and it might look a little bit harder right now well, I know I'm not going to say harder for me, because I'm having to, navigate this space, but maybe for you, because the landscape has changed a little bit and getting back into something that was normal for you, your rhythm isn't as simple as it once was. But the principle remains the same. I still have options. You still have options, which means for me, I have to move a little bit differently, right? And not let fear ransack where? My mind. And you have to do the same thing. You can't let it ransack your mind. Opportunities, they might not look traditional like they used to be, but I want to say this, they're there. And they're waiting for your creativity. They're waiting for your courage. They're waiting for your determination to meet them head on. There needs to be an intersection with all of that. And so my question to you is, are you up for that challenge? I know I'm up for that challenge. I'm Janice Thorne, certified life coach with the Anew Practice and board certified in metaphysics. So I am bringing to you information today that's going to help you just kind of get a hold of your mind, get a hold of your thoughts, you know. Welcome to Flourish with Janice. I'm happy that you tuned in. Stick with me. Don't shift. Stay, because I have something to say to you. So here I am again, faced with some choices, right? Do I keep hustling for a job just to stay afloat? Now, to a certain extent, I will say this, yes, because we all have responsibilities that we have to meet. And I'm no different, right? I got a light bill, I got a mortgage, I got car insurance, I got all of that. But I'm also leaning more deeply into my gifts, which are writing, speaking, coaching, right? The things that make me feel alive, right? That pull on my heartstrings, right? And it really, truly makes my heart glad when I can step into a space that's me, you know? I realized something. I can't keep waiting for outside circumstances to change. And if you're doing that, I want to tell you that change has to start on the inside of you. That's the first place. And I'll be honest, the change is there. But you know what? Is a little bit of uncertainty out there when you recognize it's all on me now, because a little bit of fear does come up. And I'm going to say that. A little bit of fear does come up. But in the words of Maya Angelou, the famous actress and poet, if you've never heard this phenomenal and poignant poem that she wrote, Still I Rise, tune into it because it will truly, truly inspire you. And so that's where this whole idea of readjustment, rewirement, or retirement was born in me, because that's where I am right now. And I'm finding out that readjustment is about acceptance. Essentially, you have to recognize that what used to sustain you doesn't work anymore. You have to realize that it might not fit this paradigm that we're in right now, and that's okay. And I realized the old system, the career path I've known for decades, doesn't define my next chapter. And it doesn't define your next chapter either, So is it easy to jump back into what used to work anymore? No. I can't do that like I did it before, So what is it time for? It's time to pivot, not panic. And I'm finding that rewirement is about renewing my mind. Not only do I have to readjust, I got to rewire. Seriously, I had to start rewiring my thoughts about work itself, what it looked like for me. Because I know a lot of times, we got to do that. And we have to ask ourselves the question, do I really want to keep trading time for money and lose my peace? Is this something that I want to do well into my senior years? You know how our parents did that? Or do I want to build something that aligns with who I've become? And I've become a new person in this scenario. So rewirement for me means shifting from hustle to harmony. Because I want harmony in my heart. I want harmony in my whole trinity. And isn't that what we all want? Because certainly I do. And I'm also finding that, I might have to think about retirement, not in the traditional sense of just totally stopping work. That's not something that I want to do, but just redefining it, because that word sounds a lot better to me. So what? I might have to apply for Social Security when I'm ready. It's mine. It's something that I've earned along the way, but it's also about creating a life around purpose, not pressure. This is not a season to be in pressure. It's about rewiring or readjusting or retiring from stress, not from significance. There is a difference. And you need to understand that there is a difference. So wherever you are on this spectrum, whether you're readjusting, whether you're rewiring, or even you're thinking about retiring, not stopping, but retiring, you've got some hard choices to make right now. And you can do that by asking yourself questions. I ask myself questions all the time. Like, what can I do with what I already have? Like, what's in my hands? What gifts or hobbies could become little income streams for me? That takes a hard look at what you've always done for other people easy. What can you do now? And what part of me have I ignored because I was too busy surviving on that job that doesn't love you? I mean, they don't love you because they fire you on Friday, right? Now, you might not land the job or the dream job tomorrow, and I don't personally believe there are dream jobs, but you can start creating small, purpose-filled moves today, right now, where you are. So, I want to share with you a few things that have helped me to readjust, rewire, and maybe even think about retirement that might even help you too. So, number one is do a personal audit of your life. How many times do we do that? None. We're not taught to do that. So, I want you to list three strengths and brainstorm each one and see how they could serve others. Maybe you have in your tool chest consulting or teaching, or maybe doing some freelance work, or even creating digital products. I love creating digital products. Number two is to start small, right? But the goal is to start. Don't wait for the perfect plan, right? Because if you wait for the perfect plan, it'll never happen. So take action this week. Offer your service. Post your message. Send that email to your family and friends. They might not even get back with you, but build the courage in yourself to do it. Number three is rewire your money mindset. Ask yourself, do I want to chase checks? No, I don't. Or create choices for myself. It's like creating your own reality. And there's a difference between income and impact, right? Impact is where you're out here and you're helping, you're serving people, and you're doing the darn thing. Number four is simplify and restructure. So if your income changes, as mine has changed, it's not a failure. It's focus. It's refocusing. It's streamlining your life so you can operate from a place of peace, not panic, right? Number five is reconnect daily with your why. We all have a why. We all have to remember that we have a why. So if it's journaling, if it's, praying, walking, meditating, crafting, do something each and every day that grounds you back into your purpose. Because that's important. You got to be grounded back into your purpose each and every day. You have to remind yourself, who the heck am I? Now, I've had to readjust before. I had to rewire before. And each time I came out stronger, right? Not because everything worked out for me. Certainly, that was not the case, and it wasn't so easy, but because I decided to believe that I still had something to offer. I still had something valuable to give, right? And I want you to know right here, right now, so do you. You have something to offer that's valuable. So if you are in a transition place, know that you're not stuck. Get that out of your mind. You're not stuck. And you might have to start over again, but know that you're not starting from scratch. All that's been in you forever, it's been waiting on you to give it permission, right? You have the wisdom, you have experience, and you have divine timing on your side. And you got to take advantage of that. You got to look inside and say, it's time. And I've had to learn this, and I'm still redefining myself with the same message each time I walk through a new door in my life. And I love walking through new doors because it reminds me that life is progressive. It's always moving forward. But the one thing I can tell you is that you can still learn valuable ways of expressing yourself in this season. It's not over. I want you to remember that it's not over. So that's why I created my new little mini workbook, ebook. I'll call it ebook, Readjustment, Rewirement, or Retirement, to walk you through these very stages, step by step. And it's not just really a little ebook. It's a reflection space, a tool to help you release the old, which we all need to do. We got to deprogram and embrace the new. And then when we embrace the new, you know what we have to do? We have to rediscover the peace that comes with alignment, or maybe even realignment. So if this message spoke to you, which I hope it did, click the link below to download your what? Your free copy of my little ebook today. I'm bringing that to you because I know you might need some shifting, right? Because when life shifts, so do you. So should you. So click the link and rewire, readjust, or retire.